Analysts at Chapel Hill Denham have attributed the third quarter revenue growth of cement makers in Nigeria, Dangote Cement, Bua, and Lafarge Africa to higher prices, noting that the ex-factory prices of cement was higher than last year's levels. Mustapha Wahab, an analyst at Chapel Hill Denham, joins me now to discuss the details of the earnings. Thank you so much for your time today, Mustapha. Quite interesting the numbers we're seeing from the cement players, but I'd like first start with your assessment of what we're seeing play out in the top line and bottom line of some of the players.
Thank you very much, Kenneth, for having me. I mean, like you rightly mentioned, fantastic results from the cement players this quarter. And I mean, it has been the case since the start of 2021. And that's basically because of the fact that, this year is basically a pricing year, and Q3 was not really, an exceptional case. Cement producers were able to raise prices significantly in Q3. And that's basically because of the fact that, they basically attempted to, push some of the input cost pressure that they've been facing over the last couple of quarters, to final consumers. So the impact of this was what basically supported revenues for them. I mean, volume generally in Q3 was weak. I mean, Kenneth, you must be aware that Q3 is basically is historically a disappointing quarter for cement producers, and that's basically because of the impact of rainfall and whatnot. So rainfall in Q3 has been quite heavy. I think management of Dangote also mentioned clearly that they actually face significant production challenges and sales volume because of that elevated rainfall for this year. So the impact of this was what basically put a lot of pressure as far as volumes is concerned. But the good thing for us is that, management across the board were able to raise prices higher enough, to sort of offset that input cost pressure. So the impact of this, just basically help them protect, margin. For Dangote, for instance, we saw gross margin, reaching close to 61.6%. That's about the highest level that we've seen, since Q4 2015. For us in Chapel Hill, we think that's impressive. Beyond Dangote, same can be said, for Bua's cement as well, whose, higher prices were able to, offset some of the input cost, pressure that we saw. So overall, so the impact of this, significant elevated prices, was what basically helped support that strong top line and bottom line, performance for the cement producers.
All right, now yeah, we're seeing pricing doing that, as you rightly mentioned there. Also, sales volumes we're seeing still impressive. But in terms of efficiency, for you, who takes the cake?
Right now, I think Dangote would be the most efficient company. I mean, like I said earlier, gross margin for Dangote is at the highest level that we've seen since Q2 2015, and that's basically because of the fact that the company has been able to neuter the impact of currency devaluation on energy costs. Like Lafarge. I mean, if you check Lafarge actually saw some sort of margin contraction this year because that price increase that Lafarge took was not able to offset that input cost pressure. But both Bua and Dangote actually did a lot better in raising prices faster. But for Dangote, it's more or less a case of better energy mix. The impact of this just basically help the company outperform every other company as far as efficiency is concerned.
All right, but we've seen Dangote Cement come to the market for a new 150 billion commercial papers here. How are the players there looking into the markets and tapping into the markets for funds?
Yeah, I mean, Dangote and Bua Cement, for instance, they are basically in the market, essentially looking to expand their operation. I mean, we are aware that between now and 2024, Bua is probably going to be adding close to 9 million metric tons on their installed capacity. Dangote is also looking at adding, I think, 4 million metric tons to its plant in Obajana. So they are looking at adding another 4 million metric tons. So the impact of this is basically what is driving this sort of move to enter the capital market. But the only exceptional company among the three is basically Lafarge. I mean, Lafarge has made it clear since 2018 that their strategy, going forward is basically to deleverage their balance sheet, and they've done so, quite remarkably in the last couple of years. I think debt for Lafarge is down significantly, and the impact of this is also helping, to reduce, finance charges for the company. But for Dangote and Lafarge, really, they've not really announced to the market that, they want to be doing any expansionary, move. So without if Lafarge will be coming into the market, anytime soon to raise bond. For Danksem and BUA, it is clear that, capacity expansion is at the core of, strategy for these two companies. So I suspect that we might likely to see this, going forward.